Is Devin Haney going to pull out of the Jose Ramirez fight? Obviously, you guys know that the most recent videos on this channel have been about Devin Haney and how I saw him hurt his hand at the media workout. You know, I got to see it live and in person. Devin looked sharp. He looked healthy and happy, but ultimately I saw him hurt his hand. You know, he was doing his usual mitt work. He was throwing combinations, but when I saw him throwing a combination, I couldn't help but notice, you know, he threw one right hand and then he kind of shook it out like he really hurt it, and then he had stopped his media workout. So that's not a good sign at all, especially with Devin coming off that Ryan Garcia beatdown that he took last April, about a year ago. Devin's had so much time off. Like I said, this is the longest layoff that he's ever had in his career, and you want to avoid all of these instances as much as you can. But Devin, you know, obviously couldn't control the fact that he got beat. You know, ultimately he had mistakes. There were holes in his game, and this is the whole idea of having this Jose Ramirez fight, having this huge card. So ultimately Ryan beats Rolly, Devin beats Jose, and then these two face each other in October in a mega rematch where it's probably the most highly anticipated boxing match in the world, taking into account all that animosity, all of the bad blood that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia have built, not only between each other, but between, you know, their own respective camps. So I feel like Devin has a lot to prove against Jose Ramirez, so it's going to be interesting. My prediction, you know, as far as Jose Ramirez and Devin Haney goes, I feel the same still, you know, a little less confident in Devin Haney just because I saw him hurt his hand. You know, like I said before, you know, go check out the last videos where I've actually posted the footage of Devin Haney hurting his hand during the media workout, and it really stood out to me because he stopped the entire workout. That was literally the last punch he landed at the media workout until he said, you know, I can't do it anymore. He threw the right hand and said, yeah, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And then he tried to kind of distract the crowd by, you know, jumping onto the ropes and kind of letting him hear all the boos, all the hate that he was getting from the New York fans, not showing a lot of love. But Devin, I hope he's, you know, healed up by the time he gets in the ring, because I had made a video before and prior to the Ryan Garcia fight where they released almost, you know, this episode leading up to the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight, you know, that shocking upset that it was. And I saw Devin getting his hand massaged by, you know, his physical therapist, his masseuse, and she was asking him, is it still hurting? And then he was like, feels better. And now Devin Haney seems to, you know, hurt that same right hand in this, you know, media workout that I saw with my own two eyes. So like, unlike the first time, I wasn't able to really confirm whether or not Devin Haney really hurt his hand, but I saw him, you know, visibly, you know, really throw that right hand hard to his coach Nate's stomach, and right after he threw it, he felt like something was wrong with it. Maybe it was his wrist, maybe it wasn't his hand, you know, hopefully that is the case. But, you know, I saw what I saw. I saw Devin Haney wincing in pain and ultimately, like I said, you know, stopping his media workout. But there is so much on the line. I still favor Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez. I think he'll have enough, you know, heat to keep Jose at bay, and ultimately Devin's great at what he does. You know, I agree with what Ryan Garcia said. Ryan talked about how Devin's a special fighter. Just because he beat him doesn't mean, you know, Ramirez can beat him, because Ramirez isn't as talented as Ryan Garcia is, but he's a well-seasoned veteran. He's an Olympian, and he's a world champion as well. So you can't take that away from Jose Ramirez. I just don't think he has the talent to beat a guy like Devin Haney, because right there with Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney is also one of the most talented boxers in the sport right now, and I just think you need more than what Jose Ramirez has to offer to beat him. I feel like it's not going to change anything. You know, I feel like Jose Ramirez is going to go straight at Devin Haney. We kind of know that he's that come-forward fighter. His reflexes aren't the best, but Devin has great reflexes. He's very fast, and ultimately his defense is solid when he sticks to the game plan. So as long as Devin Haney doesn't deviate from getting the win by any means necessary and doing it in convincing fashion, I think he should have an easy time with Jose Ramirez. But ultimately it's up to him. It's all about, you know, that PTSD that he had against Ryan Garcia and whether or not it's still weighing on his conscience ultimately and his mental health. So we'll see how he reacts. I got to go with Devin still, but, you know, with seeing him hurt his hand, I got to feel a little bit less confident. I'd probably give the 70-30% edge to Devin Haney to win by unanimous decision, but it'll be a close fight. It's all about Devin Haney and how he's recovered from that Ryan Garcia fight, not only physically, but mentally as well. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a tremendous fight, but stay tuned for more breakdowns. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next boxing video. Peace.